as I said, you know, this game is great to play and come back to from time to time, but to just keep playing it, right, and having so many episodes. Here, let me just open that. Okay. You know, to just have, you know, two, 3 episodes, you know, a week, you know, even 2 episodes a week, even 1 episode a week, but I think like maybe like once every 2 or 3 weeks, maybe it's okay, and maybe take a break for a while. This is pretty much the format of things, you know. I'm sure you've noticed this before, you know, watching, you know, the past Let's Plays, if you've never played it before. And if you have played it before, then you know exactly what I'm talking about when you really think about it. I know everyone praises Daggerfall, and of course with good reason, because of the freedom that it affords, and, you know, the robust, in-depth character creation, and being able to create the kind of character that you want, having the weaknesses and you know, advantages and disadvantages and all that kind of stuff, and the freedom to just explore all the dungeons. But you've seen me get lost in dungeons, and it's very samey, you know. Even if it's like a different kind of dungeon, like a main quest dungeon, when you get lost, it's still all just the same, you know. There's sure, there's a lot of variety of things you're able to do, a lot of quests and guilds you can join, but there's not a lot of variety in how it looks and how it's presented, right? You talk to someone if you don't know where a building is, and you just keep on talking to other people until they finally mark it on your map, or, you know, you get lucky and stumble upon the house on your own, which is kind of unlikely. So that's what I mean. I can't, you know, if you've seen, you know, with Morrowind, it has a bit more variety, I feel. But once you start getting into Oblivion and Skyrim, if you really think about it, I know everyone crapped on Oblivion, you know, when that was new, and said how stuff like Morrowind and Daggerfall is the superior. But really, I mean, with Oblivion and Morrowind, they're a lot more closer, you know, to being similar, you know, in the way that you're able to roleplay. Not necessarily, you know, the way the graphics look and the movements, that's all different. Being able to dual wield, you know, something you can't do in Oblivion, but the way you're able to roleplay in an immersive way. I'm talking about clearing off the table, you know, at an inn or your home, going to the nearest river and just start, you know, washing the dishes, you know, simulating like you're washing the dishes, going back home, going back to an inn and setting up the table, putting food on the table, getting a basket and dumping a bunch of apples in it. Why? Because you can. You know, you can do things like that. The quests have more variety to them, you know. So that's the thing. But again, these games, you know, Arena, Daggerfall, you know, they're like a product of their time. But it does show, and that's my reason for, you know, really believing that each iteration of Elder Scrolls just gets better and better, right? Oh, okay. I wanted to add a bit more about what I was talking about. You know, when I was playing Daggerfall, the difference here is the Daggerfall video that's an excerpt from a future upcoming episode, I think episode 19. This one here, I'm just in Morrowind, not playing it, but I just wanted to. Oh yeah, okay, that's right. It's my 1,000 subscriber special. That's why its background is different. I just wanted to use this game as, you know, just different, you know, a different showcase as I, you know, continue with what I'm saying. Very quickly. Oh shit. Very quickly. I'm just. How do I? Okay, there's that. Where's the journal? Was it J? Oh, okay. What was I even doing here? What am I doing? Is this the current game I am on? Hold on. Okay, I'm Halagar. Level 1. This is not right. Something is very wrong. Hold on. Okay. I think this is where I am, but holy shit. I don't even know what I'm doing here. I need to get to someplace safe. You know, so I can talk a bit, you know, more like concentrated on what I'm going to say. Oh god, I hope this is a building. You know, it's been so long since I played Morrowind that I am not entirely sure what I'm doing. I think I'm gonna die. I even forgot how to cast spells. Is it like that? Okay, and then how do I cast a spell? Hold on. Okay, let me... Oh, shit. Oh, God. Let me just do that. What? Okay, come on. Get him with that bound dagger. Okay, come on, go. No, hold on. Sorry about this. Oh man, I thought I'm able to go inside here, but... Oh, yes. I am able to. Okay. It'll be quiet in here so I can... Oh, silly pond. Right. Okay. Good. Wow, okay, so... Now I guess I can continue with what I wanted to say. And, again, I ended... Daggerfall by saying it's not a knock on it or anything like that, and it isn't, but I just wanted to elaborate a bit more because I don't mean to just sound all negative about the older classic Elder Scrolls games. I started with Daggerfall, but back in '96 I think it was. And then Morrowind is absolutely great as well. This one has a nice balance of feeling, like a true hardcore RPG, like a Dungeons and Dragons kind of, pen and paper type RPG, with, a lot of the, elements from Daggerfall, what it had with the types of quests and a certain level of freedom that you have there, that things you can do, and character creation, with the role-playing style or way of role-playing that you could have in Oblivion and Skyrim. I will say though, also with Daggerfall, if you notice how the quests are laid out, and I'm not talking about the main quests, but I will get to that in a bit, at least what I've discovered. So, whether you're doing a quest for Mages Guild, Fighters Guild, whatever temple or Knights of whatever, it's more of like... plug, it's kind of like, is it called like ad-libs or something? Those game books that you get where you, it has like a paragraph of something, like a story, and then you have to fill in the blanks, like with adjective, proper name, location, that kind of thing. So it's like plugging in the name, something randomly generated. It pulls from a list, and then what the objective is, whether you gotta kill the person or fetch an item or deliver an item, that sort of thing. It pulls it from a list, and then the destination, like whether it's a dungeon or a town, so it just keeps plugging in different names, right? It is cool. I do find it cool that I can't recall if it's like that for original Daggerfall, but for Unity and the mods I'm using, I think it did do it, even back then. That's what I loved about it. But I think the text is just kind of presented differently and much easier to read. But it gives like a sort of backstory. Now, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't affect the world other than, just for aesthetic and just for your own enjoyment of role-playing it and imagining it in your head, which is the way we did things back in the day, and it's still great. But really, when you break it down to its most, basic, basic form or whatever, it just comes down to plugging away names, and kind of doing the same type of tasks. It's a little bit different when it comes to the main quest, but that's again with another issue lies. At least what I've found, because I never beat Daggerfall, even back in the day, I just had so much fun doing other tasks. So as you can see, back in the day, I absolutely, enjoyed the game. It was my absolute favorite game. But of course, and I still love the game, but, I feel a bit differently now about it, which is why I'm excited for, the Wayward Realms, because it is a spiritual successor to Daggerfall, so it's going to have that same kind of idea behind what Daggerfall was trying to do, but just, in a more updated, way of playing it, But what I found with the main quests in Daggerfall is you have to reach certain level breakpoints in order to proceed. So, you can't, I can't remember now exactly, but what is it? Like, you can't really start the main quest until you hit like level 2 or 3, I think 3. And then the next landmark is at 4, and then maybe the next one is at 6. And it does kind of take a while to level. Now, of course, if you're just grinding and using a skill, just to get it up, then, you can level up super fast. But then that kind of becomes like, what's the point of playing it if you're just going to grind your skills? So the game becomes something where you're grinding it. I think it's best played where you just let your skills progress naturally instead of just, standing in place and casting the same spells over and over again. That's how I feel, just to have a more organic way of leveling up and going through the story. And when you do it that way, which I feel is the way the game is meant to be played anyway, you can start to feel, some of the like sort of temporary limitations, I guess. So not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just how it is, how it was, back in the day. Morrowind, a little bit different because, there's so much things you can do, and it feels, much like Daggerfall, but it's less, they do a much better job of making it feel like they're just plugging away different names, I remember one for the Fighters Guild. You have to, and it's in Balmora. Some woman was having rat problems, so you had to go into her house and clear the room or her basement or something out of the rat infestation. You have to clear them out, and then that was the quest. So it was kind of different. I don't believe you really got anything like that. Again, there's maybe some other different kind of quests that they do. With the Mages Guild, you have one where you have to pick flowers and then mushrooms, like, for ajira, right, the kashit. And then, but then you have different things, collecting dues, so that's totally different kind of quest from collecting mushrooms. So, it has different kind of feel to it, I think one was also stealing a book, like I forgot how you pronounce it, but the Chimeridian or something like that. Maybe I have this book still, I'm not too sure, but maybe I don't have the book, right? But it's like CHRI, and I think it talked about like this Joemer suit of armor or something like that. Okay, so now with something like Oblivion and Daggerfall, you really have unique quests. Like one in Oblivion was where you go into a painting and fight these painted trolls. This has been a while again, but I think someone was stuck or trapped in the painting. You had to go in there and free that person. There was like a whodunit kind of quest for the Brotherhood. So everything was kind of different. The other thing is you also have Radiant AI. So it's no longer like paper cutout, NPCs like what you have in Daggerfall. You go up to one person and you just pick a topic, a category, regional, tavern, people, stuff like that, and you just keep clicking on it, and you can talk blunt, normal, polite until they, give you the answer you need. They didn't have really any personality. They started to do a better job with it here, in Morrowind. Everything felt, it was more 3D, everything was 3D, and they felt like they had more character. But the world still felt a little stale, Oblivion did a much better job, combining Radiant AI with the world and the kind of quests that you get. The ability to pick up almost anything in the game, apples, a fork, things like that, picking flowers, and then decorating your house or just decorating some place in the forest if you want, however way you want to do it. And then with mods, and same goes for Skyrim, you can do even more. And then Skyrim, again, same kind of thing. I felt the grab button in Skyrim was a little bit not as good as Oblivion. When you hold down the E button to move stuff, it didn't feel as like as smooth, or it felt off a bit. But that's why I have a mod for that now, so I could move any item with ease, even stuff that are static, like a chair or a table that is not normally meant to be moved, but you can move it. So there's even more things, more activities you can do in Skyrim on top of the Radiant AI. And that's another thing. I feel like with Oblivion and Morrowind, whenever glitches do come up, sometimes you can't really explain it. It's a glitch where you crash or you're unable to complete a quest. But sometimes there are funny glitches where maybe the AI kind of, freaks out and does something unexpected, and it's a glitch, but you can still roleplay it and integrate it into the story, So that's what I like, the glitches in Oblivion and Morrowind, you can kind of come up with a story and explain something for it. My most recent one, and I put a video on there, you might want to check it out, the Adara one, although I don't think I put that part in that video, but she did not fast travel with me through when I traveled to the College of Winterhold using the Gypsy Wagon. It's just the nature of that mod. So time doesn't pass, and because time doesn't pass, your followers kind of stay where they are, and they actually have to maybe run to you, to catch up, that sort of thing, unless you go through a door. But something kind of weird happened where she stayed behind, like she was back there at Dawnstar while I was, at the college, and I couldn't find her, so I just role-played it like she was playing hide and seek, because she was afraid to face the Mages Guild and perform that test. You know, she was afraid that she would fail, but it was clearly a glitch. And then eventually, you know, I paused it and then I fixed it. I reloaded it and did it correctly, and she followed me. And then I just said, okay, I found her. She went back to the gypsy wagon and hid under the wagon. So you can come up with stories like that, and it can work, and it works with the story, you know, and part of your imagination. And that's where your imagination kicks in. Games like Arena, Daggerfall, and also even with Morrowind, but especially with Arena and Daggerfall, you really had to utilize, you know, almost every bit of your imagination to really see the graphics and see the story and envision the history and whatever the NPCs are talking about. You have to kind of use your imagination a lot more to make up for the shortcomings of everything else in the game, like the graphics, you know, that sort of thing. But you start to use it less and less with Morrowind, Oblivion especially, and especially with Skyrim. So you see what I mean? But that's not really a bad thing. You're using it less because you don't have to imagine so much, you know, the beautiful sky and all that, you know, especially when it's modded, and, you know, the roads and the grass, and you can see it and it all looks real, and things from the distance. So that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I'm just saying that you do have to use more of your imagination with Daggerfall, and that is also a good thing as well, you know, and makes it fun, and why I guess I still enjoy playing those games, that and the nostalgia. Okay, so anyways, that is it. I don't know if I'm going to connect this to that other video. Maybe. I think I will. I think it's better. I think it goes along well, you know, with what I was saying, you know, about Daggerfall, and it sounded like I was really bashing on it, but not really. You know, I'm just kind of stating what I feel are facts, and you know, my reasons for, again, why I think Elder Scrolls games get better as it goes along. So anyways, that is it. I hope you all enjoyed, and see you. Stat, Anchor. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and please don't take what I just said as like a knock on this game. A product of its time, and when played and let's played and watched in moderation, it's a great fun game still, you know, and it's great to break up, you know, what other game that you might be, you know, concentrating on, which is why I release them. You know, I kind of try to spread them apart, and I just play them every so often and set them, you know, on a schedule for like 2-3 weeks at a time, sometimes more, you know, when I decide to take a break. So that's it. Hope you all enjoyed, and see you.